Shalom, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that tells the truth, and much respect to the Akim at the labor in his work, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered across the four corners of the earth, to USA. Shalom. So yeah, Lord willing, this lesson right here will be edifying to the hopeful elect, as we've been called to gather faith for a treasure, as you get in the book of Second Edges, the second chapter. All right, and faith is what's going to be needed to get through these troubling times that we know that are fastly approaching, as far as the famine, the drought, the pestilences, the chaotic events, the anarchy, leading all the way up into the missiles. It's going to take faith to get through all of that. And the Lord gave us a testimony that assures us that if we believe in it, all right, we will be preserved from those said perils, as you get in the book of Second Edges. Was that 9 and 7? And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, because they go hand in hand. Faith without works is dead, right? Whereby ye have believed, and that shows your belief. You putting works behind your faith, whatever your office may be. It said, shall be preserved from the said perils. Everything that we've been talking about, Jacob's trouble, the famine, all of the above. And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. And that's the reason why the Lord gave his elect, or his hopefully elect right now, the gift of faith, pursuant to Ephesians 2 and verse 8, which is a gift that is not given to the masses. All right. So within that, with us receiving faith, we expect miracles, because that's essentially what we're going to be reduced to, which is hoping in miracles. And we know that Yahweh Shem Shai is real. We know that he controls everything, and this is movie. And we believe that, or should believe, that he is in control, all right, and that he's going to deliver us out of all our troubles. So Hebrews 11 verse 6, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, all right. And then a case that I'm thinking about right now is the time in which Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. There were 7 hungry lions who were forcibly not fed, all right, so that they could devour him. But the Lord shut up the mouth of the lions. And while he was in that den for 6 days, the Lord sent Habakkuk by an angel, which transported Habakkuk unto the lion's den, in which Daniel ate. So he was in there 6 days without eating. That's something to think about. All right, 6 days without eating. But let me go ahead and get that account real quick. And it took patience for Daniel to sit there and just to wait on the Lord like that, man. All right. Can you imagine going 6 days without eating? Bel and the Dragon. All right, chapter 1. So we'd have started 29, all right? It says, so they came to the king. This is King Cyrus. Yeah, Persia, right? So 29, it says, so they, the Babylonians, came to the king Cyrus and said, deliver us Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house. Because Daniel pretty much, destroyed the idol of these Babylonians. So they was trying to put him to death. So it says, or else we will destroy thee and thy house. That's what they told Cyrus. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel. Now there was in Jeri a prophet, called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, Go and carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who was in the lion's den. So an actual angel came unto Habakkuk, who was far off, and told him to give that food to Daniel. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, never been in Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. So, hey, this is a whole miracle right here, man. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which Yahweh by Shemashah have sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O power, and neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. You see? So while Daniel was in that lion's den for 6 days, Noah was hungry. All right. But at the same time, all right, you had the lions in as well that did not devour him. Okay, they were hungry too. But you see that the Lord had shut the mouth of the lions. And that was pretty much the first miracle. So it took 6 days for the Lord to bring him some food, man. So you got to remember that in the times that we're heading into, it might be 6 days, okay, or going on a week to where you ain't ate. You still can't lose hope. As Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O my power, O Yahweh by Shemashah, and neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. All right, but without faith, it's impossible to please Most High. For he that cometh to Yahweh by Shemashah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. See? So for the ones that have diligently sought Yahweh by Shemashah with all their heart, mind, and soul, well, you have to expect miracles because there's a seal there, right? Just like during the time of the Passover, the Israelites had a seal upon their doorpost, a lintel, which represents them being exempt from judgment. And that seal in these times right here is the blood of our Lord Yahweh Shai that he shed for the elect, which is ultimately manifested in the form of this knowledge, this truth that we have. This is the blood upon our doorposts. So when these calamities come, all right, the Lord's going to make a way because the angels are going to be guarding the ones that have a seal. So Hebrews 1:14, are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? So the angels are sent forth to minister or to serve those that shall be heirs of salvation, the ones that have the seal. You see? And so also, as you get in 2 Edys 2:26, it says, verse 25, Nourish thy children, O thou good nurse, and establish their feet. And this is speaking about wisdom. All right, wisdom nurtures us. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. So be not weary for when the day of trouble in heaven is cometh. All right, because you got to expect everything to be taken away from you, man, just so the Lord can show his power. And that's a scenario that's being set up right now. It's going to seem like there's no way out. Just like Daniel in the lion's den. That was a no out situation. You see? But you see how he was delivered in a miraculous fashion. So it says, be not weary for when the day of trouble in heaven is cometh. Others shall weep and be sorrowful. But thou shalt be merry and have abundance. All right? And this reminds me of the widow in 2 Kings. I think that's 2 Kings or 1 Kings 17. Dealing with Elijah. He had this woman who was she was a widow, and she didn't have a lot of food left. But pretty much Elijah was sent to her because I'm trying to find a good point to start at, so I can just read it. We'll just read from the top. All right, NLT. Elijah fed by the raven. That's another thing. That's another miracle. Now Elijah, who was from Tishbe in Gilead, told King Ahab, as surely as the Lord power, the Lord Yahweh Bashmashah, the power of Israel lives, the God I serve, there will be no dew or rain during the next few years until I give the word. Then the Lord said to Elijah, go to the east and hide by Kerith Brook, near where it enters the Jordan River. So it says, drink from the brook and eat what the ravens bring you. For I have commanded them to bring you food. You see, this kind of stuff is going to be happening during the times of famine, man, during the times of trouble. All right, miracles like that for the elect. So Elijah did as the Lord Yahweh Bashmashah told him and camped beside Kerith Brook, east of the Jordan. The ravens brought him bread and meat each morning and evening, and he drank from the brook every morning and evening. After a while, the brook dried up, for there was no rainfall anywhere in the land. All right, so here we go, the widow of Zarephath. It says, then the Lord Yahweh said to Elijah, go and live in the village of Zarephath, near the city of Sidon. I have instructed a widow there to feed you. So he went to Zarephath. As he arrived at the gates of the village, he saw a widow gathering sticks, and he asked her, would you please bring me a little water in a cup? As she was going to get it, he called to her, bring me a bite of bread too. But she said, I swear by the Lord Yahweh, your power, that I don't have a single piece of bread in the house, and I have only a handful of flour left in a jar, and a little cooking oil in the bottom of the jug. I was just gathering a few sticks to cook this last meal, and then my son and I will die. But Elijah said to her, don't be afraid. Go ahead and do just what you said, but make a little bread for me first. Then use what's left to prepare a meal for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord Yahweh Bashmashah, the power of Israel, says. There will always be flour and olive oil left in your containers until the time when the Lord sends rain and the crops grow again. So she did as Elijah said, and she and Elijah and her family continued to eat for many days. You see that? So she thought that she was ass out. She didn't have a lot of flour. She didn't have a lot of oil, cooking oil. And so pretty much the Lord kept multiplying, all right, her food because she obeyed Elijah, all right. There was always enough flour and olive oil left in the containers, just as the Lord Yahweh had promised through Elijah. Sometime later, the woman's son became sick. He grew worse and worse, and finally he died. Then she said to Elijah, O man of God, what have you done to me? Have you come here to point out my sins and kill my son? But Elijah replied, give me your son. And he took the child's body from her arms, carried him up the stairs to the room where he would stand, and laid the body on his bed. Then Elijah cried out to the Lord, O Lord, Yahweh Bashmashah, my power, why have you brought tragedy to this widow who has opened her home to me, causing her son to die? And he stretched himself out over the child 3 times and cried out to the Lord Yahweh Bashmashah, O Lord, my power, please let this child's life return to him. The Lord heard Elijah's prayer, and the life of the child returned and revived. So that act of him bringing that child to life was done to glorify Yahweh Bashmashah. So it says the Lord heard Elijah's prayer, and the life of the child returned and revived. Then Elijah brought him down from the upper room and gave him to his mother. Look, he said, your son is alive. And then the woman told Elijah, now I know for sure that you are a man of God, and that the Lord Yahweh truly speaks through you. And this is how the Lord is going to make a separation in these latter days between the elect men that he's dealing with. That's where you get Isaiah 32, in verse 2. That man should be in a hiding place, all right, from the storm, from the tempest, roughly paraphrasing, all right. So we have to expect miracles like this, all right, miracles like Daniel in the lion's den, and many more. That's why when you read Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things that were written aforetime, that were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, man. So throughout the dire situations, there's always hope. There's always a miracle that can be worked through Yahweh Bashmashah. There's no thing too hard for the Most High, man. So with that, Lord willing, you're edifying. Till next time, I say shalom.